Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I could be better, to be honest with you. Last night was very torturous, and I could not have any peace and quiet. And really, like I was trying to eat a chicken salad I had made for supper, and just constant talking. I couldn't even digest my food properly, so even sleeping was difficult because it's upsetting. What am I supposed to say? I'm telling you about my day anyway. Um, so excuse the pump noise. I'm doing my laundry and my dishes, so um, dishwasher. Uh, anyway, so yeah, excuse that. I'm sure you can hear me though, so just ignore that. I have to. It's a very loud pump, and there's nothing I can do about it. So anyway, yeah, it. And then I got up early, and I was doing some online paperwork for a couple hours, and that didn't really turn out very good. And then I had to go in the help section, and they're going to be contacting me, and oh, what a bunch of baloney. Just, and then I have a person that on my Facebook that said that they just tolerate me, when at one point I was the only person they said that would say the right thing all the time. Well, today I didn't, because he's like, well, if you're a friend of mine, drop a picture and not a GIF or anything else, or I won't consider you a friend. Well, I don't like these demands on me. I've had enough of this crap. So I just told him, um, to me, it's like a baby game. It's like I'm on a computer. I don't have a cell phone to sit there and take well, I do, but I wasn't on my cell phone, and I don't have um, my Facebook hooked up to it, where I can just drop a picture and say hi to somebody. Or I might even done it. So I'm like, if that's what it takes to be your friend, then whatever. And then he told me I was peeing in his Cheerios. I said, yeah, talk about peeing on somebody, whatever. And I think a lot of people are in like a horrible mood, um, and I passed around a post that is true. I could just go out and find a field, which I don't have to walk very far, just out my front door, and scream for about an hour. Although I live in a valley and my neighbors might think I'm dying or something, so that's probably not a very good idea, you know. So, God, it was a horrible, horrible, horrible last probably 16, 18 hours, something like that. And I told Doug, I really hate his guts. I'm not kidding. I don't like him. I really don't. I don't know if it's just because he loves to drink and wants to be ignorant, but even in the bathroom when he was taking a shower, he wouldn't stop talking, or he's talking to his cat, or he's in there singing. He never sings in the shower. Oh, no, no. Not at all. This is not Mr. Happy Go Lucky I'm talking about. So the constant blathering reminded me of a little kid that just will not shut up, you know. Yeah, we all like to talk, but not constantly, you know. Sometimes, you just want to listen to somebody talking and not have to answer, or watch a show or something, and just have peace in your life without all the rigmarole of life and all the baloney. And then with a narcissist, if you don't answer them right, they'll pick it apart. So conversations are like gross. So um, getting out of here is the paperwork I was doing today, starting the procedure. You know, so I'm not just saying or complaining, and And if people want to look down at me for hating somebody, that tortures me because literally he makes me want to die. I'm not going to kill myself, but he does make me want to die. I'd almost rather die than live like that, you know. So, anyway, and it isn't going to change. It's been way too long. So, anyway, that's kind of what's going on in my life. Not very cheery, you know. I did get some work done in the kitty house yesterday. I put couch cushions on this one cedar chest I have out there and made my kitty a little couch with a knitted blanket and stuff. But I'm going to be making them, I hope to make them kind of like ramps and a play area and stuff. And I intended on doing that today, um, but it's like you ever had anybody ask you the same question? Like you're almost joyful about doing something that might be kind of difficult, but they ask you the same question about that situation so many times within like an hour, 4 times, stealing my joy away from what I was going to do the next day. You know, that type of thing. It's like you've got to do this or whatever. I'm like, unbelievable. Yeah, and paperwork is a little bit stressful and difficult as far as with my dyslexia. When I'm tired, it affects me more. So if things don't see, I needed a cell phone. I only have the satellite. It's what they call a VOP, voice over whatever. Um, with the satellite, it's more like a landline. It's not a cell phone. And they had to send me this code, and they couldn't do it any other way. It's like, so I'm probably going to have to go get some kind of help. Maybe with the county, maybe somebody can help me, like doing the paperwork or helping me complete it. Because if I don't have the tools I need to do it online, you know, Doug said he'd help me, but nah, nah, not even. He's helped me enough, really. Yeah. So anyway, uh, yeah, today's not really very good for me. Hopefully things will cheer up. But one cheery thing, I'm gonna have pizza for supper. That'll cheer me up, if I can digest it. It is. It's really hard to eat when somebody's talking, and believe me when I say this, the talking is constant and intentional. It's hideous and repulsive. You wouldn't even believe it. It's like I'm talking here. I'm done in like a 20 minutes or a half hour telling you, but this is like continuous for hours. And then I try to resolve things the next day. It's like I can't handle this. I can't tolerate this. And he's like, blah, blah, you know. And I'm like, yeah, okay, okay. Nothing is ever resolved. There's no validation as far as anything I'm saying, or, I can talk to a total stranger and um, they get what I'm saying the first time, and I get what they're saying. See, that's one thing I hate is redundancy. Um, and this comes from the school system, teaching my kids the same thing. Like when you go into the next grade, they'll teach you the same thing they did in the fall of the that's redundant. what you like, the Chinese are smarter than that, because when their children achieve something, they move on to the next level, you know. And our school system teaches redundancy. It's the dark cabal tactics of uh, trying to make you feel like less secure in your own thoughts and whatnot. Um, God, it's sickening. This is terrible. Be like if I told you, don't forget to lock your phone. And then you'll say something, I'd be like, yeah, but don't forget to lock your phone. A couple minutes later, I'll tell you the same thing. We're not done yet. You know that. And by the time, like, the fourth time comes around, it's like, I heard you the first time. The only thing I don't respond to around here is when I hear, I love you. And the other night, he's like, I thought you were deaf. And it's like, think what you want. I told you I'm not answering to that. You know, actions speak louder than words. So why am I, what? Or I'll say, that's nice for you, you know? Or it doesn't feel like it, you know? So, yeah. If it wasn't for the internet, I really would be, I'd probably punch the fuck out of them, to tell you the truth. Honestly. Really. And if it wasn't for people online that I know that actually are going through the same type of thing and they're carrying it with grace, but then I can also see when they're having a rather hard day, you know, and we share that in common. Here's an interesting thing. They had a post. It said, "Do you think that kids are better off nowadays with all the computerized stuff, or worse off than you were when you were a kid?" And I said, "Or do you think that they're worse off than you were?" And I said, "No, my childhood was a living hell. At least now I can get online, and so can they, and make friends and communicate like that. And they have the same opportunities I had. They can um, go outside and play, or they can stay in and read or watch TV, or, you know, use their imagination, do artwork, or have a hobby, or, you know, something like that. And maybe someday I can meet some of the people I've started talking to. So, absolutely not. I think they have it made in the shade. They have the world at their fingertips, anything they want to learn. I read everything in our house, encyclopedias and atlases, anything I could get my hands on, just out of pure stark raving boredom. So, no, I think in some respects they have it better. And they can still go out and communicate with human beings. You know, that's up to their parents, whether their parents are brain dead or not. You know, the same back in the days. It was up to the parents whether or not they inspired their children, you know, in any direction. Some of us were inspired by the cruelty in life, you know, and that kind of took us into the realm of um, wanting to be there for other people that were going through the same thing. So the internet is wonderful in that respect. So, yep, and don't judge me on my hatred. Um, I cannot express the level of of the craft that is being used against me on a continuum, and it's not just one person. You know, I could say like it's me against the world, but I know I have God on my side, and He probably, and I can't say for certain, but He probably has a certain amount of hatred towards the person that is being cruel to me too. Maybe not. I can't say for sure, certain, but as a human being, I'm saying I do. And it says, you know, love your enemies. Well, on a certain level, I love him. He's still alive. but I hate his guts. The rest of them's okay, you know, if that's what it takes. And I'm not apologizing. I can't stand people that are cruel to other people, you know. And it's not just me. It's kids or anybody. It doesn't matter. Um, he'll worm his way into a person's life, and I mean, if a person's really upstanding, solid, and he knows that he can't say or pull anything dirty, he won't, you know. But if you get personal with him and he's not okay, like we have a man that delivered some wood yesterday, and he's a Christian man and a very nice person. Doug wouldn't be dirty around him, but yet he has a friend, or we have a friend with a head injury, he'll be dirty to that person. This is another God fearing person. Or we have a customer that's a multimillionaire. Um, he's not dirty to that person, you know. Uh, they can function in public and hide themselves well. Although there's some of these people that he's not really hiding from, you know, and I can telepathically communicate with them. So, and he knows that too. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, there was something else. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you about something. Cat Stevens, one of my favorites from long ago, even some of the first music I played on my guitar when I was 12 was promoting climate change. And I told him that in Minnesota, somebody wrote, "Where did the children play?" That's one of his songs. I said, "In the snow coming up here pretty soon in Minnesota, because nothing has changed in my 63 years, you know." And it's the pollution and the greed of the cultish lowlifes that are pushing this, that pump out the pollution during the night from their factories, you know. And I just left it at that. A few people laughed at it and liked my comment. It's like, yeah, because they know it's true too from where they live. We have La Nino and El Nino years and a couple years in between every 6 years. That's mediocre, like not really cold or not really hot, but nothing has changed in decades, and I've watched it. And I've lived in other places too that I could say, hey, nothing's changed there either, and still know people that live in different states, so I can assess the situation. Or people that live in other countries, they know that's true too, you know. They say there's a drought when a lake runs dry, like in the southeast or something, when they're pumping more water out of it to feed their big hotels and water parks or whatever the case may be, and try and blame it on the consumers, you know. So, yeah, it's all a game. It's leading up to their carbon tax that they want to charge and their scores that they want to keep on everybody, you know, that type of thing. So, sickening. These monsters, you know. Yeah. So I had a rather rough night. It was. Hopefully tonight will be better. I don't really anticipate anything. I never expect anymore. I'm not being optimistic around here anymore. I'm just going to think to myself, if God wants this person to be upstanding, He'll help them out. My prayers are all done in that area. I'm not. No, no, I'm not going to sit here and pray to God and cry to God about the same old thing over and over and over. It's in his hands, you know. And if he doesn't want me to hate him, well, then he can take that out of my heart too. But that has a lot to do with how somebody's acting around me too. I'm not going to roll over and just take it and say, oh, I love you, my enemy. No, uh-uh. No, I have. And so maybe that's enough, you know. This is 30 some years, you know, not just not just a few days or even a decade. It's a long time I've tried, you know. It's like he's sabotaged jobs. He's really done a lot of really retarded things, you know. If you know how to fix a car, would you fix your wife's car, or would you make her fix it and figure it out? You know, little things like that, you know. So I got some, and then make it so I couldn't get to my job and not working together as one unless we were actually working at the same place. He loved that because he had total control over what I was doing, you know. So, yeah, it's enough. I've had enough. So, that's why I say I only want friends in my life. I would, you know, if I could go back and never get married, I wouldn't. I would not recommend marriage or children to anybody on this planet the way things are at all. I really wouldn't. So, and you know, God repented in making men too. So, mankind. So, anyway, maybe some of us are here to just see if there's any humans left, you know, out of the demon blood that was mixed with that and came full fruition around. Um, yeah, there's a few left, but not any. And what percent are we? You know, I know my mean percent. That's not what humans are supposed to be, but it's in there. You know, I can't make apologies for something that's in my blood. All I can do is beg God to help me curb that shit so I don't act like an animal like the rest of them. You know, all I can do is go and try and separate myself from the upset. But I literally have somebody sitting 5 feet away from me. I've moved the table. I've tried different things, like even closing my door. My walls aren't thick enough to drown it out. And it's a constant, like a drip, like Chinese water torture. I really can't describe it any other way. It's like trying to sleep or eat with a constant drip that never goes away. You know, it's really horrible. And the reason I'm speaking about it is I got this sneaky suspicion that other people I know are going through this. You know, maybe not the severity from one person, but several people, you know. So, but no matter where you are, I have a sneaky feeling you're going through it, you know. If you have God in your heart, you're going through it. I have no doubt, you know. So, and it's the ones that don't want Him there that are doing it. You know, it's simple. We're at this time, we have come to an impasse. There's no working this out anymore, you know. So, not not between the humans and the demons. There's a separation, and there needs to be, you know. There was a funny meme. There was an old, like a 49 or 50th style sedan car, like at a drive through, and it had the baby on the outside of the window instead of like the food hanging on the window, like at a drive through, you know. And I wrote, that's what I should have done with my kids, you know. Then I sent it to my daughter in law, And I wrote on there also that women might want to ask their mother-in-laws why they did this to their kids and why I should have. You know, but I should have asked my mother-in-law, why did you do that to him? Well, I think I know why, because she probably didn't like him either. I'm telling you the truth. She wasn't a nice person either, but I guess those are the kind of people that should be together, you know, the not nice ones and the nice ones, you know. So, yeah, anyway, yeah. I personally don't think well, I'll just say this. I've told you before, but there's all kinds of things I could pick apart about the family that I married into, but I had my mother-in-law lie right in front of me about my kid. She said that he called Doug an asshole when he didn't, and went out into his shop and told Doug that, and made it so Luke and Doug really hated each other from then on out, right until today. Doug wants my kids dead. He hates them. He never has loved them. I don't think he likes me either. I told him, I know you hate me. I mean, I can obviously tell, you know. you know, because you wouldn't be mean to somebody that you loved. You wouldn't go out of your way. Can you imagine somebody 71 years old constantly talking like a little 3-year old and making noise, the like attention seeking, and it's not cute. Not at all. And it really is difficult to live around. So wish me luck, because like I said, I'm not going to take my own life, but I've had moments in my life where I almost did. So um, it's intentional, you know. If he can't just outright kill me. And we got guns sitting in the house, something I never even wanted and asked him not to do. Every time I got to go turn off my light, it's a really beautiful hurricane lamp. I have to reach over a 40 caliber Ruger right next to a fridge full of beer cans lined up. This is something I thought that we were past in our youth, like the party days, like maybe for relaxation or something, but the just full bore, I don't care what I do to my brain type of feeling, that usually ebbs and wanes when you're like 30 and 40. You start kind of thinking, hey, I got to get serious about my life, because God might have things that He wants me to do or talk about, or be clean for my children, or, you know. But if that doesn't happen and you're living around somebody like that, I can't say it's never going to happen. I don't know your people, but I just can venture to say, if they're going on a half a century old and they've been like that all their lives, they probably were born that way, you know, and not born that way, because that's all bullshit. You know what I'm talking about, too. I'll never buy that crap. I've been around long enough to know people, and it's bullshit. And I could say systematically debunk psychologically their bullshit right in front of them with other people as an audience. And you could tell by the look in their eyes where they'd be lying, you know. So, yeah, and I don't like liars. That's another thing I hate, you know. Oh, don't hate the person. No, I'm down to hating the person. If you're a shitty person, I'm gonna hate on you. Fuck that shit. You know? So God can keep them safe from me. That's a good thing. That's enough love. That's all they're getting. Enough to continue to suck air, and that's it. You know, like I told them this morning, don't expect nothing from me, and I'm not asking you for nothing. That's the way I feel, and if nothing comes in our lives because of that, that's the way it's going to be. But I'm not bargaining with the devil no more, you know, and I'm certainly not going to tell it, love, love. That's not happening, you know. Slowly but surely, I've just been getting it pounded into my head, physically taking away from my natural born lovingness that I'm not even able to display in my life. That's gross. That's a gross criminal act, you know. And what happens in my life is criminal. That could be a reason I'm documenting it too. You know, God sees it. So, and if I recorded it, you wouldn't believe it, you know. It would seem like a setup or something. I mean, there's no way to describe it, but just to try and tell you so you know what's going on with me, because some of you do care. And then you'll realize, gee, why did she type that on Facebook or whatever, or say that. So, well, I'm going to let you go. I do love you all. And like I said, I love it enough where it's still sucking air. So, um, God will keep them safe. And anyway, peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. I'm sure I'll be cheery in a little bit here. And just talking about it makes me a little uncheerier than I naturally am, if you get where I'm coming from. So, um, yeah, I don't really, I might say, like I say, I've said a couple things. That's all I can say. I've already given a letter of divorcement. All he's got to do is take it in and sign the papers. So he has absolutely no excuse. If he doesn't like me, I made it so easy for him to just take care of business. So, all right, everybody. Talk to you soon. Have a good night or day wherever you at.